Hey, Jill. Hi, Jill. Hello.
Oh, hey, Deb.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can. Loud and
Awesome.
clear.
And I can hear you.
All right.
Well, how fun. This is quite a little experiment. It's the first time for me anyway doing a Zoom. I've been on meetings with Zoom, but I haven't been the one like setting it up and doing
I
it.
know.
So
It's kind of,
apologize for this bright light above my head. I
oh,
realize that's not a good setup, but I will do it differently next time.
you have a
I'm
great
also
aura.
working off two computer screens, so if I look over that way, it's because I'm confused.
What? How come you have two computer screens
Well,
going?
I've got my laptop, which is where the webcam is, and I've got it in a docking station hooked up to a monitor so that I can use a regular keyboard and larger monitor when I want to. But it's using the computer part of it is the laptop, sort of works like the CPU on a desktop. So,
Yeah.
so
You're
normally
tacky for me.
when I've been using it, kind of just setting up and playing with it, I normally use, hold on, just turning up my volume a little bit so I can hear you better. Use the larger screen with the keyboard and the mouse and everything just as if it was a desktop. But it doesn't have a webcam, so I'm doing this on the laptop. But then I'm like, I keep looking over to the other screen because your face is there. Oh, interesting. So, all right. Now, as far as I know, we had, yeah, try to ignore that one. As far as I know, we had some other people joining us, so we're going to give it just a minute or two. If people are anything like me and new to Zoom, then this might take them a minute to get hooked up in here. And I know Janine and her new consultant, Kayla, were planning to join, but they also were doing her launch party tonight, like a live cooking show launch party. So weren't sure exactly when that was going to get done, but we are recording this so that people can go back and watch it later too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Let me try my volume again because it seems like you're very quiet.
Well,
Say something.
Maybe is that better now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. It might be because the way I have I don't know where my microphone is on my laptop. So
gotcha.
Maybe I was covering up the microphone part or something.
Okay.
I have it sitting on my lap.
Well, you look very comfy. That's okay.
Well, you know.
Okay. Just got a text from Janine that she's trying to get in the meeting but having a computer issue. Wonder what sort of computer issue. Let me see if I can help.
Yes, absolutely. Computers are
well, they're wonderful when they do just what you want them to.
Yeah.
Then when they don't, that's a different story.
Sometimes if you don't have something uploaded right or you know correct hardware, so to speak.
Yeah. So we'll see if that will work for her. So how was your weekend?
Oh, you know, I had an event yesterday that was.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, well, I should say that I did just put through an order of $128 in from it. So it's not that bad. And I did some cash and carry, which was $28, but I did not make my table. No. I got 2 tables, and I was under the assumption that, or I should not say assume, because I thought I asked about this event, and they said they had were expecting a large crowd because they have such a big organization, and I didn't realize that it was their first time doing this.
First time for things is a little sketchy. So yeah.
And I drove about 30 minutes, which isn't a bad drive, but it was in Snyder, which is near Williamsville.
Okay.
Which is a very active community, and so I was expecting great things. and it had very little traffic, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the way they set up their basket raffle was they had it in a separate room before they got to everybody else. You know, they didn't come into the vendor area, anybody that came to the basket raffle, because that came first.
Ah, yeah.
Instead of setting it up where there is the vendors and then the basket raffle that they have to walk through to get to.
Right.
It just annoys me so, because, you know, it's just not conducive to, you know, a good setup.
Right.
For us.
Yeah.
I mean, for as little people as they had, I guess I did very well, considering, you know, there was probably 10 people, but I did, you know, the ladies were older ladies, and it's really hard to sell to that crowd.
Sometimes it is.
Say, well, you know, because they all come up and say, well, I don't need anything because, you know, I'm getting rid of things and it's just me, and it's my husband died 3 years ago, and, you know, I get the whole story and everything. Whoa, well, you know, then have you ever thought of gifting things to other people?
Mm-hmm.
Because our products are wonderful gifts. Maybe, you know, for a granddaughter or a, you know, a daughter. Hope Chest, you know, and working the whole thing, you know. But anyways, they were a nice group of people, and I just, well, I gave a nice donation, and you know, got to talk to some nice people. Didn't get any bookings, although the one lady who is having knee surgery on Thursday was thinking, you know, she said she'd let me know in 24 hours whether or not she wanted to do a Facebook party. And I was going to take the individual order that I had and put it towards her party. But she texted me later or earlier today or this evening and said that she's not going to do the Facebook party, but thank you very much. She'll contact me when she wants to do another party. So because she's got this knee thing going on, and then after the knee thing she's got to go down and help her father in Florida and all this other stuff. So you know, timing.
Yep. That definitely can make a difference. All righty. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and start talking about the 6 weeks to success stuff. Janine just texted me, and she is working on it. She said it's not a Zoom thing; it's something on her end that she's trying to figure out, and will join as soon as she can.
Okay.
And like I said, it is recording, so for anyone who wants to watch it tomorrow or in the next couple of days, they can do that too. So 6 weeks to success, brand new thing that we've not done before, which I'm really excited about. And just another way, you know, we're always looking for ways that we can, you know, help and supporting, maybe give some new perspectives and insights and, you know, approaches to doing things. So that's what this is all about. And it's really going to follow a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to kind of talk about as we go along. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to pull that up here. And
cool.
All righty. Now, do me a favor, Deb. Can you tell me what you're seeing on your screen?
I'm seeing "Welcome to 6 Weeks to Success" in a box to the left.
Okay.
And then I see you and I over to the right in the upper right corner. But then there's another slide. Oh, it says next slide.
Okay. I wasn't sure on your end what that would be. Okay, now what do you see?
Now I see a full screen of "Welcome to 6 Weeks to Success."
Oh, okay.
I see Janine and I see Christina Jones.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
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 Janine, we can see you. Can you see us?
Can you hear us?
Janine, can you hear us? Okay. I was going to say, if you can hear me, wave. But if you can't hear me, you're not going to know to wave or not.
Exactly. Oh, you know what, Jill?
I can't hear you guys, so hold on.
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Did you understand my sign
I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
In previous Zoom chats, I've had to write notes and come up to the screen.
Oh, crud. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You guys are so...
Christina, can you hear us? Christina?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Oh, now Janine's gone again. She was having technical difficulty. Oh,
we can hear you, but we can't see you now. Hi, Janine. Oh. Can you hear us?
I'm guessing she can.
Oh, there you are. Oh, I had to turn the volume on the phone.
Well, there you go.
I gotta get a notebook.
So we're all figuring out something new tonight.
Okay, I can hear you only every second word.
Can you hear me now? Hear more than every second word? Hello?
You know what, Jill?
What?
Anybody else get like a huge delay?
No. Are you connected on the internet? Wi-Fi or through cable?
Mm-hmm. All right.
In the bottom corner. Is you or is it
somebody else?
Okay. So Deb, I know that you can hear me and I can hear you, yes?
Correct.
Okay, and Christina?
Yes.
Okay, so I can hear you and you can hear me. Janine? Can you hear me?
Janine looks like she's on mute.
Right. Yeah. And I'm trying to click the unmute button and it's not doing it. Oh, wait a minute.
She might have muted herself.
Okay. Janine, can you hear now? Janine? Janine? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you. I can see your lips move. No. It's a huge delay.
Huh. Can you hear me with a delay, though?
What?
I'm sorry. Okay. I kind of figured that the first time doing this was going to be a little bit of a learning curve, so that's part of the game. I don't know what Janine can do.
I would just mute everybody.
I was having an issue with my computer, but now it seems working, so let me see if it's better than my own.
Okay. Yeah, because we have you on two screens now. Oh, there she is on the bottom. But she needs to move her camera so we're not just getting the top of your head. Oh, Janine. Janine, hello?
Oh, that's working now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay! Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good.
On my phone, there was a huge delay. Hi, Deb.
Hi,
Janine. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yay.
There we go. So everybody's here. Welcome to 6 Weeks to Success. So when people watch this recording, you'll just have to tell them like the first, 10 minutes is just us figuring out what's going on. I will tell you though that I'm really dedicated to keeping these calls short and sweet and not dragging on and really trying to start on time and end on time. So other than, like I said, I knew tonight being the first time was going to be, a little bit different as we adjust, but I want to make sure that respecting your time, especially those of you in the Eastern time zone, I know that it's later for you guys. So we don't want to keep you up too late when you need to go tonight. So 6 Weeks to Success, a new course for us, the first time that we're doing this, and I'm really excited to share it with you and just kind of give a little bit different perspective maybe on some things. And so we're going to jump right into it. And really, I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. The idea with everything that we do is to help you to have more fun, to get more bookings, to build up your paycheck. That's always really the goal of anything that we're doing. So this is definitely falls right into that as well. And it's going to, give you hopefully all of those benefits. So are you ready to get started?
Heck yeah.
All right. Awesome. So what we're starting with here is this thing called a belief triangle. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before or heard of it. So it might be a little bit of a review, might be brand new information, but it's incredibly powerful and incredibly applicable to really everything. And we're going to be talking about this as it relates to our businesses. The fact is, I think once you start to kind of see it in action and become aware of it, you may recognize it in a lot of other things in life too. But as far as our business goes, it's sort of, to me, an illustration of what we might call a vicious circle when it's being used in a negative way. It certainly can be used in a very positive way as well. But it's this combination of what we believe to be true or expect to happen, then the action that we take based on that, and the way that the action that we take and the way that we take that action, then the results that we get that then end up coming back around to the belief and either supporting or not supporting what the belief is. Typically supporting the belief. And that's the thing that really makes it so powerful. The other thing to realize about this, though, is that it's completely neutral in terms of whether it's a good or bad thing, because it can be a really negative thing and become that vicious circle that just kind of perpetuates a situation that's not good. But it is equally powerful when it's being used in a very positive way, because the belief and the action, the results can create this very positive cycle as well. So that's what we want to do. And sometimes the key is recognizing things that we're doing that are maybe going down the more negative route and stopping it. Just stop in your tracks and go, wait a minute, not doing that. I need to come up with another story, another set of beliefs, and then actions and results that are going to create a very positive momentum instead. Because when you do something that is what you believe is going to happen, what your expectation is, you take that action, you get the result, and then it goes back to kind of reinforcing what your belief was. Excuse me, sorry about that. So from a Pampered Chef standpoint, if we go on to the next one, let's say you're getting ready to make some booking calls. And on the inside, you're telling yourself, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I don't think she's going to answer. I don't know what to say. I don't know why I'm calling her. She's probably doesn't want to hear from me. She's busy. I'm bugging her. All these things that might be going on in your head as you're getting to kind of trying to get yourself to make some contacts. So your belief is that you're bothering this person. They don't want to hear from you. They're not going to want to have a party anyway. They're too busy. All of those sort of things that can end up being the story that we're telling ourselves. So then when you actually reach somebody, you're saying something like what's on the bottom there. I know you're really busy. It's probably not going to work, but I'm trying to book some shows. If it possibly could work out, do you think you might be able to do a party for me? But it's okay if you're too busy. That's sometimes in the literal words that we use, the way it comes across, but just as often, not the words we use, but the tone and the expectation and what we project to somebody sounds very much like that. So if your belief going in was all of those things, that she's too busy, she's probably not going to answer, she doesn't want to talk to me, and then you actually take the action to talk to this person and you do it in a way that either sounds or comes across like what's on the bottom, which is kind of projecting that onto her, that expectation that all of these things that are not going to result in a booking. And then, surprise, surprise, she decides not to have a party. So that's the result that you're getting, which is totally in line with your belief and your action. So it's kind of what you would expect to have happen, because when the results that you get in every case are in alignment with what you're believing and doing. So when that result comes of her not booking a show, then you go back to the belief, and it has just reinforced that initial belief that she didn't want to have a show, she's too busy, she doesn't want to talk to you, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where that vicious circle comes in, because that belief then has now been reinforced. You're like, see, I was right. I knew she wasn't going to want to have a show anyway, or she was going to be too busy to talk to me or whatever. And that then feeds into the next action you take. Or what can sometimes happen is you stop taking action, which then becomes the action. the action becomes, I'm not calling anymore. I'm going to go watch TV instead, or play video games, or whatever you do instead. And so then obviously your result will also be not having a booking because you were playing Candy Crush instead, which does not usually get you bookings. So all of these things, and no matter what action you take or don't take and what result there is, and that whole cycle is linked together. Does that make sense? Or any comments or thoughts on that belief triangle?
It definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and I've experienced it.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean, it really, especially when you become to be aware of it and you break it down like that, you're like, well, duh. Yeah, I could like draw that out. Sean! Hi, Sean! Hey, sweetie. You going to bed?
Yeah.
All right. Sleep well.
Sorry, guys.
Well, Deb knows this, but Christina, you may not know. Janine and I are sisters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was my nephew that just popped his head on the screen.
Like actual sisters?
Yes, actually, not just Pampered Chef sisters, but actual blood sisters. So, had to say goodnight to Sean. So anyway, but yeah, I absolutely agree. But the thing that's so cool about this, like I said, is it is just as powerful. Honestly, I'd say more powerful, just because it's a good thing, when you take that same triangle and make it work for you instead of working against you. So say you went into that with the belief that, of course, who wouldn't want to have a show? We've got such awesome stuff going on. Everybody's going to want to have a show, and people are going to want to talk to me, and they're going to find a time to talk to me. And, they're happy to hear from me because they know that I can provide them a service. When that's your mindset going into it, and then you have the, action that you take, projecting that expectation and that attitude to somebody. And I don't mean steamroll all over them and just say, here's your date. I'm going to show up at your house because, you're having a show whether you want to or not. But that expectation that is going into it with that true belief and telling yourself that. And going through that, having that be the story that's going through your mind, feeding into this action that you're taking. And then you get to the spot where you're getting the results. Now, this is not magic fairy dust. I'm not saying that if you just sit there and say, I believe that everyone's going to answer the phone, everyone's going to book a party for next week, all of that kind of stuff. But I think it's really important to recognize that when you're going into this, realizing that, there are other factors that are going to come into play. But the really important key is for your belief to hold true when you take action, even if that person says, this is not really a great time. But then you kind of start looking at, well, what can I do? She didn't say, I hate you, don't ever talk to me again. So you don't want to end up having that belief being, see, she didn't want to talk to me in the first place, because that's not what happened. But we can get ourselves into that place. The negative self-talk and the negative stories come much more easily than the positive ones until you make a point of developing that awareness, training your brain to look at things differently. Once you get into that groove, then that starts to come naturally, and that becomes your normal routine, and it becomes a cycle that is a very positive and powerful thing for good. But it takes some conscious effort and awareness to stop yourself when you're in a bad place with the belief that you're working with, and change it and make a point of doing that. So the awareness that you have of this belief triangle and the potential for your belief to lead to actions that are not really what's going to work for you, getting results that are not what you want. When you can break that cycle, that's when it becomes really powerful and puts you in charge of both your thoughts and your actions and your results, which is not a both thing, all three. So all three of your beliefs, your actions, and your results, and they begin to support each other in a very positive way, rather than supporting each other just as much, but in a way that's not productive for you. So this is some of the stuff that you want to take a look at. Do you believe that our products are so amazing that everyone would drop everything to have a party?
Yes. Oh. Sorry. Did you want an answer?
Sure. Answer me. I mean, this is where sometimes we need to work on these things, because we typically, if you're selling Pampered Chef, you think our products are pretty awesome. and we have a lot to offer people. But have you ever really thought about what you believe about those products and have that be something that's very much part of your consciousness, part of your awareness, so that that gets passed on to other people? Do you believe that your shows are so much fun that nobody's going to want to miss them? That they're going to love it and they're going to have a great time and they're going to walk out the door saying, I'm so glad I came tonight. Now,
Most of the time, yes.
All right, great. Now, and sometimes now, I'm going to, as a little side note, sometimes we might go, well, you know what, maybe I could spice up my shows a little bit. So it's not that what we're saying is as long as you believe it, you can just sit there and stare at the wall and everyone's going to love you. The thing that's interesting about it is that when you develop this belief system and you're aware of it and you're thinking about it, your shows will become more fun because you're having more fun, you're loving what you're doing, and that comes across to people. And a fun show doesn't have to mean that you're a stand-up comic. It doesn't mean that you have to be doing cartwheels or anything like that. Fun is different for different people, but an enjoyable, positive experience. Every encounter that they have with you should be a really positive experience that they would enjoy repeating. So we want to take a look at some of the details of what we're doing. Maybe it's playing a game, maybe it's doing theme shows, maybe it's trying new recipes, but realizing that more than those details, your mindset and your belief is what's going to make those a positive experience for people because it will come across to them. It will show without you even saying anything. Or more, well, you got to say something, I guess, when you're standing there at somebody's house.
I can't just stand
But
there.
it's going to become less important what you say because it's kind of not going to matter what you say. And this is proven by the fact that there are tremendously successful people in Pampered Chef with completely different styles, different ways of doing shows, whether it's online or live cooking shows. Live cooking shows, they may or may not cook. They might do interactive. They might just do more of a cooking class kind of thing. Every one of those has somebody in Pampered Chef that's doing it with huge success. So clearly, the details of whether you do it this or that style, what recipe you make, all that sort of thing. Not that those are irrelevant. It's something that as a professional, as somebody doing this for a business, you want to pay attention to those things. But those are not going to be nearly as powerful as your belief and your mindset and the way that you come across to people. So because you have other people too that do a perfect show and they know everything and they know all the products and they know the recipe and they can answer every question, and they don't have as successful of a business. You know, they're not having the bookings they want. They're not getting the sales they want. And you start to realize that the fun and the warm, fuzzy feeling and the great experience feeling that you make by connecting with people in a very positive way with your belief just exploding out of you, that's going to be the deal breaker. So when you couple that with good product knowledge and great recipes and our awesome products, that's where it becomes just this hugely powerful thing. But just the product knowledge alone or great recipes and great products will get you to a certain point because they're still good products, but it's definitely not going to take you as far as you could go if you put that hand in hand with the belief that everything that you have to offer is something really wonderful for people. That last one too, do you believe you can change lives by teaching people recipes, offering products, bringing their family back to the table? This is a really big deal. When you think about these sort of things and think of your business, not just as a catalog or a food chopper or a knife or whatever, sort of individual thing would be going on, but everything that the whole package is of Pampered Chef and the fact that you are the one that has the privilege of sharing that with people and working with them in a way that they can enjoy all of these kind of benefits that go all together from Pampered Chef. You really can take that belief and make it a wonderful thing for them and a tremendously successful thing for you. I also want to say hi to Cheryl. Cheryl, are you on there? I see your little number popped up on the bottom.
I am. I had you muted. Sorry.
We don't see your pretty face, but I saw your number pop up and recognized it.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey.
Oh.
Sorry.
Can you see us?
No. I didn't want to interrupt. And
No, I know. I know. I just wanted to say hey. Okay.
Yeah, hey.
So if you have a piece of paper, grab it and maybe a pen or pencil. All right. And I want you to write the word belief at the top. And we're just going to take a minute to think about a few of these things that we talked about. So write these down the side of the page.
I'm in my car.
Oh, are you? Oh, bless your heart, Christina.
I just got home, but I saw it on my phone. I was like, oh, I'm not going to miss this.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us even in your car. Do you have like a napkin you can write on or something?
I carry my Pampered Chef binder in my purse.
Excellent. Of course you do. And I do want to real quickly congratulate Christina because she is reaching her 1250 in sales in her first 2 awesome shows.
Yay!
Whoop, whoop. Yay! Earn your new consultant bonus. Yay!
Woo!
You are rocking it. Okay, so what I want you to do is we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but write a number from 1 to 5, 1 being the lower end and 5 being the higher end of where you would put yourself in terms of belief in each of these things. So your belief in our product.
5 is the high end?
5 is highest, yes.
Okay. Just in general? Or
Yeah.
like...
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Just my belief
All right.
in our products, not a specific product, just kind of what we have going on with Pampered Chef. Your belief in the product line, and tell me when you're done with all 5 of them.
Done.
Done.
And
Okay. I'm not going to ask you what those numbers are because that's really for you to know. I mean, if you want to tell us, you can. If anybody wants to share, you feel free to do that. Or if there's one that you're particularly low or high on.
Mine are all 5s except for myself.
Same.
Okay.
Which I have a 4.
Okay.
Deb.
Oh, Janine!
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Janine,
we're
yours.
gonna get to that 5.
So Janine, yours were all 5s except for yourself.
Yes.
All right.
me too.
And you too. Interesting. Okay. Well, I think that information, and the reason I had said it first, you didn't have to tell us, is because you're the one to work with this, right? The thing that the purpose of looking at it this way is for you to just give it some thought about where you are and do a couple of things. If there's an area where your belief is maybe not a 5, you should be aware of that and looking at things that you can do to build that up. The other thing, though, is if your belief is a 5 in our products, host opportunity, business opportunity, and the company as a whole, do you think that the people that you're working with, your hosts and guests, people around you, do they know that?
I don't know.
Because that's a pretty important thing, because otherwise the belief in the belief triangle involves belief and action and results. So the belief is huge, but if you keep it to yourself, then you're missing out, and the people around you are missing out on the full triangle. Okay?
I think that everybody that's around me knows that I eat, breathe, and sleep Pampered Chef. It just exudes from me all the time, and I can't help but share either a recipe or a new product.
Okay.
It's just, they know I'm Pampered Chef. I mean, the people that know me, but then again, the people that don't know me will need to be informed.
Right. They just don't know yet.
Right. Exactly.
But I do think that this is an important thing. If you believe like crazy in our host opportunity and the fact that they can get tons of free stuff and all these great benefits and have the fun of having their friends over, but if you kind of keep that to yourself, then you're shortchanging the people around you and yourself based on the results that could come from sharing that. Okay. So give that a little bit of thought and make sure that, even in the areas where your belief is strong, are you putting that into action? Are you kind of working with it and sharing it? in a way that's going to go beyond just what's in your head and your heart to make sure that it's encompassing everybody else as well. It's very interesting too that all of you have a high belief in the things that are outside of you, basically in what Pampered Chef is doing, since they take care of everything else for us, right? And not as high in yourself. I'm glad to see that none of you are at a 1 in belief in yourself, because that would be really unfortunate. You should believe in yourself because you do in fact exist. So don't say that like I don't believe in unicorns.
We're just 1 point shy of awesome, just saying.
Don't believe in the tooth fairy. Well, believe in yourself because we can see you. You're here, I promise. So when you're looking at that too, though, it's sometimes the hardest belief to address, because it's a little more abstract. It's not like saying this is a rock crock and I know it's great quality and I know there's all this stuff you can do with it. That's a more obvious and tangible thing to have a strong, belief in and interest in sharing and expecting people to respond very positively to it. When we get to ourselves, it's, I think, not unusual. So we're probably all, in a similar place with that, that we sell ourselves short and don't necessarily believe that we bring to the table as the same strength that the products, the host opportunity, the business opportunity, everything else does. So let's take a look at the next page and look at some of these in more detail and just give a little bit of thought of how you see yourself as a driving force. Isn't that a great phrase? Do you believe in yourself as a driving force in my business, in my family, in the lives of others, someone who can get it done as a confident and strong recruiter? You might want to make some notes here of these and come back to these, because this is not something we're going to ask everybody to, again, tell us. Some of what we're doing in this program is talking about stuff, and some is, I'm going to put this out there, and then I'm going to have follow-up calls with each of you later in the week, and we can talk a little bit more about some of this stuff at that point. But I want you to be thinking about it. If you believe yourself to be a driving force, great in those areas. If not, what might be holding you back? Or what would it look like if you were a driving force in your business? Think a little bit about the idea of driving. Driving is proactive. Driving is taking charge. You're not a passenger in the car. You're driving the car. Okay? So that means that it's something that you are kind of taking ownership of in your business, in your family, as someone who can get it done, as a confident and strong recruiter, that sort of thing. And of course, force is not what we're looking at in terms of kind of being a steamroller, but something that is powerful and useful, beneficial to people. It kind of goes back even to that belief in action, where it can be a very good thing, or it can be something, because we're not talking about harassing people and stalking people and, forcing them to do something they don't want to do, but it should still be something that is strong and useful. Okay. So I want you to give that a little bit of thought. It can be, now for a second, it can be after our call is done. Like I said, something we can talk about more, and ways that you can build that in those areas. If you, have an area or two that maybe is not as much of a driving force as you might like to be. Taking another step sort of in this is coming back to yourself, and that belief system and your approach to things, your mindset. How do you see yourself? These things are incredibly important and powerful. Now, this recording is going to include the PowerPoint, so if you want to go back and look at this after you can fast forward over that first 15 minutes of technical difficulties and getting started, and then the real 30 minutes is going to be, the after part. Okay. So the belief.
I'm really glad.
What's that?
I'm going to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I'm not the only one that had technical difficulties with Zoom. So, good to know. Thank you. Makes me feel better.
Yeah. It took us a little while
for sure
to get going. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the belief part that we're talking about is one of the 4 pillars to your success in this business, and is certainly absolutely key to all of the others. Because like I said, the passion, the skill, like knowing your product knowledge, the will, the desire to do things, those are all great things, but all of them will be much more effective, much more enjoyable, and much more powerful when the belief system is in place. So that definitely is where we want to start when you're looking at doing, building your business, maybe making some changes, experiencing more success, having that belief as really an ongoing awareness and something that you're, developing and training yourself to work and to harness the power of those things, to have it work to your advantage and going toward the goals that you want to have instead of holding you back. Because again, your beliefs, your negative beliefs are just as powerful, and they will be trying to trip you up every step of the way if you allow it. So, we want to start with that as that pillar, because if any of these pillars is lacking, the roof is going to be off kilter. One lacking probably won't completely make it fall down. So it's not like you won't have a business, it just won't be nearly what it could be. And your success and your growth won't be as easy and as fun and as productive as it could be if you have all 4 of them. So we definitely want to make sure that we're building on those 4. So just real quick, a little bit of feedback. What can you do to strengthen your belief system? Any thoughts?
You can use mantras.
Yeah, definitely. If you have some, great. If you don't and you need some help with that, we can work on developing some. I periodically put them up in our team Facebook group. Go with that. If there are some that speak to you and you can do a different one every day, or you can pick one that you like and do it, every day for a month, anything like that. But a mantra is basically just self-talk, talking out loud to yourself. And again, it comes to that changing the stories that might be in your head that are not serving you, and being very proactive and conscious about doing something to replace those with something that is going to put you on the road that you want to be. So some of this is coming from a practical standpoint, going back to that initial thing with the, belief, and going into making a phone call and somebody not wanting to answer, not wanting to talk to you. When we're looking at just getting to more bookings on your calendar, building your business, connecting with people is very important. I mean, it's something that has to happen in the business we're in for you to happen. Okay. Now, when you're looking at your phone, as it has your modem for your future, it is the answer to an empty calendar. And it can be a phone call, it can be a text, it can be on Facebook on your phone or on your computer. So this is sort of not necessarily a literal thing. Not everything has to be actually talking to another human being on the other end of the phone, although that is an incredibly powerful thing. Personal conversations on the phone, in person, maybe with somebody at work or somebody that from an activity you're involved in, those can be very beneficial and really help you to connect with people more effectively. But any way that you can reach out to somebody and be in touch with them and kind of start to get your belief spreading out there, whether it's in our products or our business opportunity or booking a show or what have you, that's definitely what you want to do. And so when you look at things like your phone or your computer or, your drive time or the people that are, in different places that you can talk to and, begin to recognize them as a very positive source of success with your business. That's an important thing. Okay. So your homework is to believe again. So here are some suggestions to do that. Make sure you're using the products. Take pictures or videos, post them on Facebook, text them to a friend if there's somebody that you want to just share that with, Do the things to make you engaged in your business that are fun, that you're going to enjoy, and that are going to build up both the belief in the products and the company, although all of you are strong on that, but also that belief in yourself, because you're making cool stuff and you have a lot to offer. You have a tremendous amount of stuff to offer, but sometimes we need to be reminded of that. So make it a point to pay attention to what am I using when I make dinner tonight, and then tell somebody about it. Whether it is on Facebook or somebody that you see the next day at the gym or whatever that might be, take a look at what you're doing and find the things that you really can love about the company, about the products, about, our team, about anything that's going on that really brings you to a place where you are in love with what you're doing. Okay.
Hey, Jill.
I know my problem with that is the thought that getting over the thought that it has to be perfect and just doing it.
Just do it. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And I am one for just doing it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you have.
What holds me back is like, I don't have this or I don't have that and I can't be perfect and I'm not.
Because that's what everybody else is doing in their kitchen.
Exactly.
So they're not looking for perfect. When the times that we want something that looks really pretty and professional, then pull a video from the home office. They make beautiful things.
True.
So we do that once in a while too. But it's good to, for people to just get to see
real.
And as it says on here, you don't have to do all of these things.
Right.
But the idea is, again, increasing your belief and becoming aware so that your business is not just kind of a side note in what you're doing, but really is something that you can enjoy and have be a very big part, not taking over your life. But if you really love what you're doing and the products and the shows and everything like that, then it makes sense to enjoy it. And then other people are going to pick that up as well.
Jill, I just have to say, like, not that long ago, my belief in it's not so much belief, but like the product and everything wouldn't have been a 5 because of that reason. I wasn't using the product. Not really.
Yeah.
Partly because I wasn't cooking.
Yeah.
I was like floating through life on, the easiest possible thing I could do to put food on the table. And I wasn't really cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started doing that again, that's when it's not so much a belief, because if you had asked me back then, I would have said, yeah, I believe in our product just because I had, 14 years of experience behind me.
Yeah.
But it's the excitement and the passion that is what is attractive to people.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you communicate that belief, I think that changes when you're using the product and trying out the recipes and doing all that stuff.
Right. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Okay. So this is your homework. In addition to falling in love with your business, there is a training audio on Consultants Corner for you to listen to called Product Pros Have Bigger Shows. It has the directions here: Pampered Chef University, selling, peer sharing resource. If you have trouble finding it or don't remember the name, shoot me a text or something and I will let you know. And then on the next page here, okay, so this is your homework, home play, we call it, because it sounds more fun, is to listen to that audio. And while you're doing it, make a note of 5 or more takeaways from that information. So make some notes, and we're going to talk about 5 of the things that really stood out to you that you're going to implement in your business and are going to be something you can have fun with, increase your belief, increase your effectiveness and your results. Now, down at the bottom of this, it says complete this form and submit it to me. It's a Google Forms, which on my PowerPoint is a link, but I don't know that it's a link for you. Can you click on that link?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. So no. I'm going to post that. And as a side note also, I'm going to set up a small Pampered or Facebook group just for the people that are doing this 6 weeks to success thing. I know we've got a million groups, but just, you don't have to pay attention to all of them all of the time. And this is only going to be for 6 weeks, but I think it's the best way to be able to just be in touch with the people who are specifically doing this instead of doing it on the Team Freedom page. So I will post the link to the form on there. And what I want is for you to do that before we have a one-on-one phone call later in the week. And it's going to ask things like, if you listen to that audio and to, write in the notes the 5 things that you take away. And then when we talk, we'll kind of be on the same page, because I want those calls to also be kind of short and sweet and not, take over your life. Okay. So I'll post that link again. They're also, and these links are in the form, so you can go on there and, when you get it and click on that form, these are 5 different videos